Deathloop is a first-person action-adventure game that asks the question, what would you do if you could repeat your actions and the outcome be different every single time? With witty character interaction, intriguing plot lines, and stories to explore, Deathloop is a simple and to-the-point game that at first is immersive, but as the game goes past around the second hour of playtime, it quickly becomes something trite. At certain points, with overly simplified objectives, it loses its charm and fascination for the game that drew me in. What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome to my first impressions of Deathloop. I just want to reiterate the fact that it is a first impressions because a lot of people seem to have trouble with the difference between a review and a first impression. A first impression means that it's literally your first impression of the game. I haven't finished the game yet, but it is a first impression. A review, a full-on review, is for something that you have finished, for something that you have completed. So I know I don't need to go over it, but just to cover my ass, I'm gonna do that. While Deathloop has charm in its dialogue, and it's very philosophical at certain points with the way that the story is designed, once you get past a certain portion of the game where you have to get every single visionary, it kind of starts getting repetitive. And I know, trust me, that's the whole point of the game. It's supposed to be, you get this visionary, then you go to a different time during the game and you get another visionary. It just kind of became a drag for me at a certain point. This game does have some amazing points, which I will say that I find so incredibly beautiful. And I know that people kind of, by the way I'm seeing different people go about how they like or dislike this game, probably wouldn't be a word that they would use with it, but I'm going to use it because that's the way I feel about it. The beautiful part about this game is that there's this concept of doing something over and over and over again with obtaining knowledge from the previous moment, allowing you to, in a very Souls way, learn from your mistakes, try again, and get better. In some ways, I would call this more of a Souls game than anything because you are dying repetitively and you are obtaining knowledge that you learned from the previous try that you had. But it to be wild. I think people would really get mad at me if I just called this game a Souls game. That would just be so wild because, in an essence, it kind of is. Like, if we look at how Souls games are constructed, you die a lot and you learn from your deaths and what you've done. So don't be surprised at the title if you see that, hey, Deathloop is a Souls game. You knew it was coming, okay? You guys knew it was coming. Now, as far as controls go, there's nothing majorly wrong with the controls besides a few crashes that I had. The crashes in this game were just utterly annoying and it just really kind of irritated me because every time I would go into the game, there would either be some kind of like little FPS stutter or there would just be a full-on crash by the time I would get to a certain point. Most specifically, the safe house. All in all, this game so far has moments that truly grab me and make me want to keep playing and diving into it, but other moments where I go a couple of days without even touching it. When I finish this game, it will be really interesting to see how it ends and how the rest of the story ties together. Since this is a first impressions and not technically a full-on review, they are going to run a little bit shorter. Let me know if you guys want longer versions of these reviews and first impressions. They do take a lot of work to put into them, more in particular the video versions of these reviews and first impressions. The first impressions and the reviews themselves, they don't take that long because the video version and the article have similarities in the content that is within the article, not how it's structured. I have to structure my videos differently than I do my reviews and first impressions when it comes to writing it up. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments below. But if you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below. I make videos every day here on YouTube. May you find your worth in the waking world, dear hunter. Stay casually nerdy, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, you guys.